Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Summer 2019. It is the final match of the regular season. Griffin taking on Hanwha Life Esports. Both of these teams battling for massive stakes. Griffin, if they win, they confirm World Championship qualification and first place in the regular season of Summer 2019. And if Hanwha Life win, not only are they going to be Damwon Gaming's best friends, because Damwon will then be our first place team here in the regular season, but they will also avoid relegation. So there is so much on the line here, even down to our final game at the LCK. And you look a bit concerned, Ellis. Are you okay?
You know, I'm feeling all right. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah. Just hoping that we're going to get some high-quality League of Legends, because we had some ups and downs in our first series. Gen.G, unfortunately, guys, just to update you, Gen.G will not be able to make it into any qualification run to the World Championships. They have failed to make it into the Gauntlet, so really sad. It would have been Gen.G for the third year running if they had have qualified for the World Championships, but unfortunately not going to be the case. Of course, won in 2017, made it back in 2018, didn't do so well, and 2019 was a question mark, and now it has been answered. No Gen.G from the LCK this time around. It will be a very different year, and as you can see, this is how it looks. Playoffs have been determined. Damwon and Griffin in some order will be first and second, Sandbox in third place, and then SKT will have side selection going into the wildcard match against the Afrika Freaks. That'll be a really, really fun first game. It's next Wednesday, starting that one off.
And, I mean, tonight, it's really surprising for Hanwha Life. This is sort of like a miracle. If they can pull it off here and get out.
Yeah.
What a series of events that had to unfold to make this necessary. But obviously, Griffin, they're going to be the favorites coming into tonight's match. Very heavy favorite.
Absolutely, and it's the way that they've been playing. Griffin have looked heads and shoulders better. I think it's largely to do with Tarzan playing so much more fast and loose. In the early game, we're going to have a look at the points of the match. Griffin finally so close to making their world's dream come true, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. If Griffin wins first place and they qualify to the World Championships. Defeated first place teams twice. Still not away from relegations. Hanwha Life, if they win, they stay. Otherwise, they will be in that promotion tournament. It's what we've already said. So many stakes here. Final match for the regular split featuring Best Jungler competition. King of the Jungle Tarzan versus early game God Bozan. And this is the thing. I mean, Bono has been stepping it up. Sangyoon was saying it in the mic check that we had a few weeks ago. Like, who is this guy? Why is he able to play so well? And it certainly is a thing. For Damwon Gaming, sorry, for Damwon. For Hanwha Life at the moment, I'm thinking about Damwon because Hanwha can qualify them into first place in the regular split. So getting ahead of myself. But Hanwha Life certainly have been playing around their early game jungler very, very well. Having a look here at some of the stats, pretty even for blue side on the side of Hanwha Life, but their red side win rate not so good. But on Griffin's side, red side looking good. So I guess pack it up because Griffin going to be on our red side. They get to do it twice if we go to 3 games.
Yeah, Alice, you didn't need this to let you know that. Just
no, I don't want to see your paper. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
Alice, I showed you my paper. Please respond.
No. I didn't look. I didn't look. I have control of my eyes, okay? KDA is pretty good on the side of Griffin. They are going to be in first place. Their average game time as well is going to be the fastest in the LCK, but third is only, what, 40 seconds different? Everyone is around 33 minutes, is basically what we're trying to say here. So that average game time stat is one that's very, very close for all of our teams here in the LCK. Let's have a look at some highlights. Hanwha Life certainly have a few that they can pull out. They weren't able to take down the Afrika Freaks. Afrika did manage to get them in game number 3. As that sidestep from SoHwan, though. Real sexy.
Yeah. As that Azir was brought down. And then right here, Hanwha Life jumping over the Dragon Pit. Keen trying to do Aatrox things, but not quite able to.
And that flash from Tenth. Did you see that? He flashed just as the wall of soldiers came towards him.
Okay, well, That was a pretty large Shurima shuffle. Even Shelly was impressed.
She was. Tempt had a bit of a day out. And despite the fact that it was a 2-1 loss for Hanwha Life, certainly put a FLICKR Freaks to the test. This, however, was not anyone being put to the test. This was Tarzan hard slamming Jin Green Wings into the ground. This was an execution.
That's exactly what this was. As this Olaf, he just ran places. He did things.
Yeah. This was an Infinity Edge Yasuo, by the way. It just got mauled, pummeled by the Brolap.
As Viper now going in there on the Kai'Sa, ends up going into the stopwatch.
This is one of those last team fights where it felt like Griffin's wallets were so heavy that all they needed to do was attack, move, and randomly press buttons on their keyboard, and they probably would have won. It was actually closer than otherwise expected in that particular situation, as we are going to get that jungle matchup that you guys have all wanted. KDA, of course, belongs to the Griffin player because that's just how that one works. But everything else pretty close, and kill participation in 15 minutes just showing that it's all about Bono when it comes to that early game.
And we're going to have to see what Bono can do in the early game. Tarzan, pretty slow and calculated at some points, but then also able to flip a switch. But generally, the Griffin players are pretty hard to find cracks or openings in their laning phases.
And they're also a team that doesn't like mistakes. They like to play slow, clean League of Legends. And that can be a problem, because if you're playing fast and loose and Bono's throwing out questions everywhere in the early game, it's hard to make the perfect play and make that decision exactly right every single time. But let's see whether Bono is going to be in form. The final time that Hanwha Life are going to make their way out, unless they lose here, in which case we'll see them back again for the promotion tournament, and we'll be congratulating KT Rolster for not being in back-to-back promos. Still yet to happen, as Tal will not be joining us. It is SoHwan, the top laner that they've agreed has been the best performing, as that sangyoon picture is absolutely adorable if you saw that at the top. Tempt in the mid lane, so not going to be going back to Lava. It's agreed that Tempt has been the better performing mid laner, and that is without a doubt after their most recent series against the FLICKR Freaks. Despite the loss, it was not Tempt's fault. That guy was playing real well, and now he has a big test. Chovy also really upgrading his performance. Welcome, Griffin, for the final time of the regular season here for Summer 2019. This team now with Doran fully amalgamated into the hive mind that is Griffin. This is a very scary squad, especially now with the fact that Sword and Doran are so different. If the meta changes sufficiently where Sword's champion pool is going to be relevant again, think about what that kind of substitution is going to mean here for Griffin. It will change their style entirely. And
I really feel like this is very similar in the sense that SK Telecom, they've done this now with Effort in the support role. And this is just so powerful if Griffin do end up making it to Worlds. Having the versatility there, because we would imagine that Sword would be the one to get carried along, even though Griffin does have some other subs.
Some of them are being used on other potential Worlds teams, though, of course, rather over there playing for Flash Wolves, and Plex is in the LPL at the moment. Of course, formerly mid-main to the top main that is Doran. Both of them with Griffin, and Cabby, I believe, is still here. Lehends is a support substitute, but I haven't seen any Cabby so far. We have seen the ban and pick 3 times already today. Here's the 4th time, LS.
And we're actually only going to see it 5.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's almost like you have a script in front of you.
I
Stop reading it. You gotta keep the tensions high. Hanwha Life now with 15 seconds to go. He is insinuating that it's going to be a 2-0, but we don't know which team is going to 2-0 just yet. So don't worry, guys. There is still question marks in the air.
I won't reveal that.
Thank you very much. Oh, I mean, these teams will reveal that after the first game. But what was that?
What?
I think, did you cough?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I did there.
Just move your microphone.
It's no problem.
Aside.
Yeah, I'm
next
sorry.
Time, okay?
I was a little bit slow there.
Yeah, okay. Ezreal Yuumi going to be banned away, of course. Viper and Lehends pretty good at both of those champions, so not going to see that. Skarner and Renekton also taken away. All right. Hanwha, what is your final ban going to be? Who are you going to be targeting? Is it going to be Tarzan's early game champion pool? Pretty difficult to eliminate all of those choices in just one pick up here. I think Silas as well is worth looking at against Griffin, just with how well they play it in multiple different positions, and Akali is going to be taken away. So not wanting to first pick that one this time, Tempt did actually have a great performance in their win against the FLICKR. Not going to be happening this time, and the Azir is available. Corki is banned, so no Azir-Corki matchup. I believe Griffin probably expect a first pick Azir, especially from Tempt. We'll see where Hanwha want to go. It might be a SoHwan pickup just to be a bit safer.
See what the first one will be. Like you said, there's the SoHwan. Now it's going to be handed over to Griffin. See if that one is locked in.
Ooh, and remember, Tarzan is the Trundle player.
Aatrox. I was looking up, I believe, the stats to Aatrox. He's really bolstered by Griffin. I'll tell you that much.
Oh,
when
yeah?
it comes to the win department. His win rate there at the bottom is negative, and without Griffin and some other friends, he would be much further down in the dumps.
Yep, thanks Summit as well. He's also pretty good at the old Aatrox, as that is a Tahm Kench locked in for Lehends. An interesting choice, as that's going to leave open a lot of options here on Hanwha's side, as Tempt. Ooh, that would be fun. Cycling through a whole bunch of stuff, though, as Bono is on your screen right here. The Azir is the likely choice, and that is going to confirm that SoHwan is on his favorite Aurelia on the top side of the map. It's him that's been, I mean, apart from Noguri and our superstars of the top lane, SoHwan's Aurelia performance was outstanding, and probably one of the best we've seen in recent weeks. Azir, though, for Tempt, a favorite of his for a very long time, even back when he was on BBQ, despite the fact that they were losing a fair bit. We're going to lock it in. Okay, so Doran showing us that, I mean, their win with the Mordekaiser against Jin Air was a very weird one. They had a Kha'Zix jungle, they were doing all sorts of crazy stuff, but Doran's decision is to take the Mordekaiser once again, most likely, into the top lane. Of course, a lot of opportunity to flex. Chovy was a fantastic Aatrox player, and I'd expect that to be played in the mid lane, but can be a rough matchup into the Azir.
All right, well, we'll have to see what this Mordekaiser ends up entailing. I've been very vocal that I don't
You're not a huge fan.
think that he's a very good champion. So we'll see how Griffin is going to choose to, or attempt to utilize him here in this game number 1, as Thresh has now been banned away. Sona biting the dust.
Well, Tahm Kench was already locked in, so in theory, Sona Tahm Kench could have come out. Not going to this time, as maybe it'll be a Varus ban here, because Varus Tahm Kench is the next in line as far as favorite bottom lanes is concerned. But still, Viper will have a lot of other choices. Whenever I see Tahm Kench, I just expect that Tarzan is going to be playing an early game jungle route around the top side of the map, top mid.
Yeah.
Is sort of how I would expect this game to go. So look to see what he's going to be playing in that jungle, and it's not going to be the Silas, which has been the pick into SoHwan of choice. For most people, Griffin could just lock away Varus here and leave Tarzan for the last pick, as he chooses a different arrow wielder, potentially. 8 seconds to go before he makes up his mind, and he is going to lock in the Ashe.
So that's going to be Ashe Tahm Kench to neutralizing bottom lane. It's able to go up against almost anything and go even. And this will allow the Aatrox and the Mordekaiser to get all the attention from Tarzan. So, going to be really curious to see what jungle pick it will end up actually being. As Hanwha Life, knowing this now, all they would have to do is choose an ADC that is really either mobile or particularly good at standing its ground and shredding through front lines. Kai'Sa doesn't really strike me as the latter, but
I mean,
she has the mobility.
10% health damage, and you build a Rage Blade, you know, it seems
I mean, she
okay.
shreds, but there's some other ones.
Okay, so we're not super
Alistar,
impressed,
though,
but we're getting there. Alistar going to be the lock-in, so we've got a lot of engage options now from Key's side, as well as the fact that the follow-up is certainly there. Hanwha Life with a lot of options moving into the later stages as far as 4-1 compositions. Their team fighting looks strong, and their late game scaling is good. As Tarzan says, I ain't afraid of spiders.
Oh, they want to
pick one
have
up.
a very aggressive early game. Tarzan on this Elise. So rather than trying to be a neutralizing bottom lane, the Ashe and the Tom. Well, that sign says, please pick a Mumu. Bono fighting. That is what's going on there.
Well, that doesn't seem like a Bono champion, unfortunately, but he's also cosplaying, so that's cool. You know, Cloud Templar would be impressed, I think. Oh, is he crying? Is that what it is?
Oh, he needs a friend.
You can't make the Amumu cry. That's too sad.
He needs a friend. I think this guy's about to be his friend.
Maybe.
Or he's about to delete him from Cacao.
Sending a friend request.
Yeah.
Well, On-Air and CV Max going to shake hands. Our coaches have done it. The drafts are done. They're interesting ones. The Mordekaiser has been ran back. Griffin, seems like they weren't just having a good time by picking the Mord. Seems like they think it's good. We'll see whether it's going to continue to be in the hands of Doran here in game number 1 against Hanwha Live Esports. Hanwha, though, with a very standard composition here in the LCK.
And on the flip side, as you did already mention, Mordekaiser is here in the top lane for Doran. Elise and Aatrox gonna be there as well. And the Ashe and the Tom, they're gonna be able to convert early game lane pushing into potential dives for Tarzan. So Tarzan's gonna be the person to watch actually in the early game.
Yeah, and also picking the Ashe away from Sangyoon as well. Sangyoon was our Ashe fan. Trinity Force Essence Reaver, get all of that cooldown reduction and start spamming them volleys. We'll see what Viper's idea is when it comes to the build. Let's get into it. Game number 1, our final match of the season. Griffin fans in full voice, as it is the evening now on Summoner's Rift. As you can see, it's going to be lethal tempo, so it's not going to be Sangyoon's School of Thought, which is Comet, and really threaten in that early game. It's been ever since the 1 second was shaved off the volley that the Comet has sort of stood out, as that's a pretty sick spam. Man, Temp just moves away. He's like, you're too loud. Stop it. Stop being silly. And Viper set up by himself here, just making sure that there's not going to be any invades, and Griffin hanging out together here to keep themselves alive. So, pretty comfortable in the early game so far, LS. Anything that you see, anything that's standing out as being a little bit strange between either of these teams?
Well,
I mean, there is a barrier on an Ashe.
There is a barrier on the Ashe, and the heal on the Sir Thomas.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, and your favorite skin?
That is my favorite skin, the Coin Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
I feel a little bit pulled by it every time I see it. I'll be honest.
Yep, it draws you in.
Oh, man.
Okay.
You know...
Do I?
I'm not sure if you do.
Mm.
There needs to... You know how Riot sometimes has, like, collaboration type things?
Uh-huh, yeah.
They need to get one with that Tom. They need to have him sit on Twitch Primes.
Oh, yeah.
You catching where I'm going?
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Oh. Well, we can out there.
We can have one of those conversations, I think, as Lethal Tempo is going to proc, not able to get any of those arrows into key. As Griffin decide that they are very, very close to level 2, and they will zone Sangyoon and key away. Lehends getting it first, actually, which is quite interesting, and eventually Viper is going to pick that one up. Wow.
Ooh.
This is getting dangerous. Lehends is like...
He is taking a lot of damage.
Yeah. Hawkshot is going to spot the SoHwan. No, I believe not. Not actually getting there. Of course, automatically pings now.
Now, the interesting thing about this as well is that Bono, he has 2 options here, one of which is recall into pathing to the blue side jungle, and the other is the one that we have here, so it's a guessing game for Griffin. And take a look at Tarzan. He actually elects not to do any sort of early game aggression with the Elise, and instead, he's opting into a pretty heavy clear.
Yeah, it's a full clear of top side, moving into blue buff and then scuttle bottom side of the map, I would assume. Is going to give Griffin's bottom lane the ability to continue up this pressure, because you can see the Spider Lady is well and truly in the vicinity. Might be able to offer some vision down here as well, or at least vision denial as Tarzan comes in with the sweeper prepped. And he's going to get that ward just handed over to him. A possible dive attempt. Level 3 at least, probably. Repel's powerful, but it ain't that powerful. quite have the damage here with Ash Tarm Kench either. As Griffin are really putting the screws in on the bottom side.
Bono now clearing out the Scuttle Crab on the left-hand side as Tarzan has already eaten it on the right-hand side.
Pretty comfortable. You can see Bono not able to find any Raptors as he moves on over, so a slight waste of time for the SoHwan. Large reason why Tarzan was able, Tarzan utilizing this particular clear was helpful for Griffin. Haven't really seen too much happening elsewhere on this map though, as SoHwan is ahead in farm against Doran, but the wave I believe is moving into the Mordekaiser. I don't know how this matchup goes, LS. New Mordekaiser versus Aurelia.
New Mordekaiser, well, if he ends up getting on top of her and if he can get his passive off in a reliable manner, then yes, he's going to be good. The issue that the Mordekaiser tends to suffer from is that in the later stages of the game, he doesn't deal that much damage. He has very expensive itemization, very heavily reliant on having his ultimate available, but also that the opponents have lack of items. So, much like most juggernauts, only Aatrox tends to really stand out.
Darius had a moment or two.
He came really close to having a moment. Did you have a moment with him, or no?
With Darius?
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, you did.
I abused a bit of Darius's power level for a while. Chovy pretty comfortable here in the mid lane, is actually ahead in farm, but the minion wave is heading towards Tempt. It's going to be entirely even. 2 Doran's rings actually from the Azir, wanting to put the pressure on in the early game. But so far, not being able to could actually potentially be a problem.
And everything is just very slow and steady. So, not the kind of lane manipulation relative to having an Elise jungler that I was expecting coming into this game.
Yeah, teleport on the minion wave. Okay.
Coming down now.
See where the key pops his sweeper. He isn't going to, so this ward is going to get uber value for the Griffin bottom lane. Lehends pops his, and Tarzan knows that he's able to slink around here as much as he wants, given the location of the SoHwan he was given away.
And I mean, both his bot lane and his mid lane both have priority, so relatively easy for him to wait around for the Scuttle Crab. Now this will be a really easy pickup for Tarzan.
Yeah, takes it away from Bono. In fact, Bono's wasted a fair bit of his time. Agatha is available as far as his camps in his red is going to be coming up very soon, but Tarzan knows exactly where he's going to be. He's been spending a lot of time there towards the red side jungle of Hanwha Life. I like this from Tarzan, not actually using the Elise as a ganking tool early, but more just being able to nullify any effect that Bono's having on the early game.
This is really interesting. So Aurelia didn't elect to TP back up into top lane, but it doesn't look like the movement speed that she has is quick enough to get up there to catch the wave and then threaten a freeze, which would have been really good for the way that Bono has to path the left-hand side of the map. Mordekaiser would be forced to walk up in the lane and probably have to request that Tarzan come top to do something. Instead, now Doran has the edge.
Chovy in trouble. He's getting smacked around everywhere. Eventually has to flash as the Infernal Chains land, and that's all he needs to do. That was a flash from Tempt, flash from Key, and only took Chovy's flash to escape.
Yeah, and they're going to be forced to back off now as things are going okay for Griffin. Now, the interesting thing for me, though, is that normally I'm one of the heavy advocates for scaling comps. And Griffin, they're taking things very slow and steady, but they need to have a mid-game explosion with this team composition. So even though Hanwha Life is trying to attempt things and obviously failing, it's not the end of the world, nor is it that damaging towards their current game state. They're perfectly fine right now.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Bono's going to be spotted on a ward once again. There's Doran with his King of Clubs skin. Will be absolutely fine. Death's Grasp. Just going to grab some of these creeps out of the way. Obliterate some minion waves. Good stuff. As Chovy finds a huge combo on Attempt. That is not what you want to see, but at least the Sand Soldiers get some damage back on Chovy's way out. It's going to be rough. I mean, Hex Drinker is just going to be such a huge pickup for Chovy. I expect that the Maw of Mount Mortius will also be built very early, just because the lifeline of the Maw is so incredibly strong with all of the extra life steal that you get with your World Ender. You actually saw that rushed as a second item. Often you see the Hex Drinker just held onto just for the utility that it provides on its own for a cheaper item, and then you can get to your core a little bit quicker. But Chovy, I believe, I mean, or I don't know whether it was Chovy, but one of our other mid lane Aatroxes certainly did prioritize getting towards Maw much earlier. I like the idea.
So far, in this game, not a lot of action. We're in a lull state pretty early, Alice. I gotta be honest with you.
I mean, this is the lane state right now.
This is definitely a lane state.
Yeah.
Elise went straight up to Runic Echo. Now we're gonna have a 9.5-minute open dragon.
Oh, beautiful.
Be captured.
30 minutes time, Shelly's going to join as Doran does throw down the ultimate. Gets himself his passive up as well. And remember, we're right at the edge. SoHwan does dodge the Obliterate. That's certainly good news, but Death's Grasp not going to be procced. And Doran's indestructible means that it's really difficult to fight him, but he's not killing anyone at this point in time.
So a little bit anticlimactic up there in top lane. Mordekaiser did end up failing to secure the kill. That was really nice camera work, by the way.
Yeah, it was actually a really cute dodge of the Obliterate, which I think saved SoHwan's life.
And I really like what Griffin's doing. Oh,
So
I haven't gotten
really
this.
early lane
I
swap.
never see this at all from teams. I talk about it a lot, then I stop talking about it because it's sort of like the freezing thing.
Yeah, I know.
No teams are going to do it. So
Pick your battles, you know.
You got to pick your battles. But
yeah.
there is no objective on the right-hand side of the map, and so why have your bot lane there?
Exactly.
So instead, they rotate their bot lane up into top, and now Elise, her path lines up perfectly for them. Mordekaiser's hit a point where he has durability, he has wave clear, he's able to handle everything on his own in bottom. And if the enemy team would devote resources to trying to do something, it's not really all that impactful. And at this stage of the game, the resistances on the turret don't matter, the Herald's the priority. And because Griffin initiated first, they have control.
Yep, and also, Griffin are able to get control wards down and have the ability to protect them as well. These couple of wards that are sitting over walls, Lehends possibly down here looking to replace, as he does have a couple still there. And looks like Shelly, the vision around her, should certainly be staying there for quite some time. You can see Rift Scuttler was taken, and that's great news for Bono. But Tarzan gets himself a back timing and also gets himself some Sork boots, so his early game power is actually huge. And Hanwha need to invest everything to come down here and get their own vision down. They do so successfully, though. I thought this would have been easier for Griffin to defend. I was actually pretty impressed. They are going to move back down here now that the minion wave has crashed. And they already got themselves some turret plates as well, so good stuff from Griffin so far. Lehends even going to be sweeping just to make sure that there's no wards stacked on one another. The fact that these minion waves have been pretty comfortably shoved over and over again from Griffin means that once again, Tarzan's going to move on over, and it's only a matter of time before he can just start up Shelly. And with the help of her lanes that do have priority, should be able to get that objective. I want them to start it soon, though. That's what I'm sort of thinking.
You know what I want? I want
SoHwan
the
to stop
movie-
looking like he's on an old television. That was very strange.
Alice, stop talking about the game, okay? We're in the middle of a lull state, all right?
Oh,
you don't
okay,
want to wake any of our viewers up.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah, they're trying to rest right now.
Yeah, it's like cryo sleep or something like that.
Exactly.
Okay. So what do you want to talk about instead?
The new movie It.
Oh yeah.
The remake, part
Okay.
2. You haven't seen part 1 yet, but we're going.
Oh yeah, we are definitely going.
We're definitely, and
I
you're
need-
not
I need to
canceling
watch-
on me like the Lion King. Now, is your girlfriend able to watch horror movies?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, excellent.
We got it. We do both have to see the first one. I don't know whether. No, I think she has seen. She has seen the original, the Tim
Okay.
Curry one. But we still need to watch the first, and then I will be ready. I will be ready for you.
All right, I'm looking forward to it.
So am I.
Don't cancel on me like Lion King.
No, stop Stop saying that, because it was definitely you that canceled the first time, okay?
So, for viewers that might not know about Korea, if a movie is flopping or just doing really bad, Korea kicks it out really quick.
It really does. It does not mess
Lion King
around.
disappeared.
Yeah. It took 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Oh, man.
How long do you think the new Sonic movie's going to last? Oh.
Well, it depends. What do the remade Sonic graphics look like?
What do you mean?
Although Sonic, well,
oh, right, yeah, they redid them all, didn't they?
They redid them completely.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
of the public outcry.
Well, to be perfect, I don't know how bad it's going to be, just because casting Jim Carrey as Robotnik is probably the most ideal thing ever. He literally almost is Robotnik, like back at like 90s Jim Carrey
I thought
style.
he was done with movies after some of his public outburst stuff, you know? I mean,
I don't know.
By the way, talking about current game here, okay, nothing's happening.
Well, no, there's vision being cleared.
All right.
And stuff.
Yeah.
And that.
Water is wet.
Yeah.
Oxygen is necessary. Yeah, continue.
Yeah, yeah. Chovy is moving towards the enemy team. And Tarzan is here. Viper turning up, has an arrow at the ready. Shelly.
When do you think the first kill takes place? I'm going to go with... Hold on. I'm not even going to look at my script. I'm going to go with 23 minutes.
I'm going to go with 17 minutes and 48 seconds.
Like you are erring on the side of
specificity.
Yeah.
Erring on the side of specificity.
I need to get myself into the mindset that you have.
Yeah, you do.
Foundry going to be taken. Are you gonna curse everyone here?
What?
And me? You gonna make another ocean dragon?
What?
What's it gonna be? Of course it is.
I didn't curse anything. I don't even know what you were talking about.
Tom stole the scuttle crab.
Aw. And regurgitated it over there.
So that his spider mama could eat it.
Yeah, there we go. Catfish and spider mama. Teleport coming in here from Griffin. Shelly going to be a 50-50 as the Glacial Prison comes down. SoHwan gets here as well. Flawless Duet is decent, but there's the Death Realm. And it looks like Key is going to be their first target. Not going to be able to do too much as the rappel does go up. Down goes Tarzan, goes Golden. Key's still alive. Bono still alive. Eventually the cow goes down as SoHwan gets a triple stun, and he's rewarded for it by dying. 3,000 gold now the lead for Griffin, and they're going to take everything. Eye of the Herald just waiting here in the pit. I'm not even sure who managed to get the kill. I think Bono was the one that got there. Now it's just going to have to... Oh, look, it watched. It watched as the Elise walked past. It was like, can you take me?
Yeah, and no one can. Nope. Says, sorry, I'm not your owner.
Yep.
Oh,
you
man.
can't adopt the Eye of the Herald. Like, once you're the parent, you're the parent.
Oh, God. You know what that reminded me of? That was like Ash Ketchum if he just left Charmander.
Oh,
on the rock.
Goodness. Yeah, with his fire going out and needing to like use a leaf to protect it.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
That's exactly what that just was.
Terrifying.
As what we did see, though, is that Griffin's mid-game team fighting comp took a team fight in the middle game.
Oh my goodness!
I know. It's really strange. Now, regardless of how much of an abomination the champion Mordekaiser is over here, you'll notice that SoHwan's not taking too much damage.
I'm pretty sure that he just took the Aurelia out of the team fight.
He did take the Aurelia out of the team fight, yeah. He did do that.
Yep.
And then SoHwan was eventually cocooned up, locked down. And now Griffin with a 3.5 almost 1,000 gold lead here at 17.5 minutes. Will look to probably try to take another team fight in coming moments. And if you're Hanwha Life, all that you need to think to yourself is, hey, we need to slow down the game.
Yeah.
And try to scale up, because they're thinking to themselves, well, they should be, we want to go to 30 minutes. We want to make it to 30, 33 minutes, get to that stage of the game, then we start winning team fights. Aurelia is going to be really strong.
Yeah.
Azir, Kaisa, they'll light everything up.
Mm-hmm. And the more items that they get after the third are going to mean more than the items that Griffin get after the third. That's just how that one works. That's how scaling compositions are going to be able to overtake. That being said, Griffin do have a lead that goes with their composition very well. And this is a composition that can also push advantages extremely hard. I think Mordekaiser is just, in essence, a snowballing champion. It's just how it works.
Most juggernauts.
Yeah, if you're better than your opponent, if you're stronger than your opponent and you're Mordekaiser, you can force a 1v1 scenario.
Yes.
Yeah, generally,
yes. If
you're stronger, things are better. In an exponential fashion.
Any juggernaut that isn't the case with? I don't think so, right?
No, I mean, who are the juggernauts? It's Darius,
Garen, Aatrox. Aatrox is a juggernaut.
Is he?
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't in the juggernaut patch, right?
Well, no,
because he got changed
remade
afterwards
later. Yeah.
multiple times.
Get it together, man.
I guess in theory he's a juggernaut. He fits the mold.
Garrett. Oh, did you see all the coins?
Ting. Yeah,
that's like when.
It's
like the subscription noise.
Oh,
you know?
Twitch Prime.
You know? Oh, man.
You are the worst.
All right, we're back in a lull state.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do about this?
Well, we can
break it down for me.
What do we do about the lull state? Well, do you know what would? No, I'm not gonna have another freezing conversation. I feel like it's just gonna happen over and over again. We can talk about some items though. Dash cannon for Mordekaiser, super sick item. When that item came out, I was like, it's a Mordekaiser item, and as you can see, it is. Key. Speaking of Mordekaiser, he's potentially put in the death realm. We haven't seen him in there just yet. He's just murdered. Okay. Our picture-in-picture was a little bit weird, but I believe he was actually altered as Doran's ult is on cooldown. So. Never mind. Didn't see the grayscale as Sangyoon in trouble. Viper, tons of damage out of this Ashe, who isn't going Hurricane second. Looks like it's going to be Rapid Fire Cannon. Interesting.
Blade of the Ruined King also already complete as Chovy just slowly getting advantages for himself down there in bot lane. Aurelia with the Wit's End up in top lane, at least repelling Doran for the time being.
Oh.
Cloud Dragon.
Another Cloud Drake.
And go ahead. What's next? Another Ocean?
Ocean, definitely Ocean.
No,
I'm on a flip-flop. I reckon it's Infernal. Oh, damn it. It's Cloud Drake anyway. Dang it.
This is the worst.
I'm so sad.
Oh, man.
It's like the only other one.
All right.
But Triple Cloud is actually fine. You know, that's a lot of movement speed. It's cool.
Possible thing more unlucky than Griffin's Drake rolls was Papa Smithy yesterday.
Oh my god.
The only possible thing.
He's not here to defend himself. You can't say stuff like that. At least he gets a day off today, you know? That's fine. As Bono's going to dive in on Lehends and he just flashes. Yeah, that was a high value flash right there. Nicely done, Lehends. But it is still going to be the flash on cooldown. And as far as flashes are concerned, Tahm Kench's flash, pretty high value.
All right. Meanwhile, second core item completion almost coming in for all the members on the side of Griffin. And Baron is up. And it's not like Griffin actually take it all that poorly with their team composition. They're definitely able to utilize Baron baits.
Yeah, I also really like their turn from Baron. They've got Cocoon, they've got Enchanted Crystal Arrow, they've even got Volley to control the area around Baron. Fighting in those sort of scenarios actually really helps the Griffin team. Plus, if Hanwha Life ever approaches the Baron, Doran just puts the smite into the Death Realm. And how do they contest?
Yeah, that's one of the unsung things about Mordekaiser.
If you want Mordekaiser facts, I'll be here all day.
Do you play him?
He's my favorite champion. We've had this conversation.
The new one is, or the old one too?
It doesn't matter. I just love Mordekaiser. I don't.
The old Mordekaiser was probably
my favorite. Was the
second most
old.
Played.
It's definitely my most played. That and Zyra. I'm a Zyra Mordekaiser guy. I like pets.
Zyra should be meta.
She's great,
but pro teams around the world.
I think she's hard to use because she's hard to ward with. You know. Because you can't really face check as a Zyra because you pop. You're supposed to build damage. She doesn't offer anything if she doesn't do damage. Really.
Well, in this game, the only thing that both of the supports offer seem to be wards, as you just mentioned. And it's a 6,000 gold lead, but we really haven't had any action almost going on. We've had 3 kills.
It's so strange that Griffin are this far ahead based on the 3 kills and the terrible Drakes.
This is terrible.
Yeah, but we do have a couple of turrets that have gone down, both of the outers. bot and top. This has been the lull state starter that has happened almost every single time today.
This is like a lull state starter kit.
Yeah, is the mid lane outer turret still alive? You can have yourself a lull state. No worries at all. As the coins got interrupted, LS. It's a real shame. Can we go back to Tom Kench? Jonah Strong? No? No, we can't.
Now I'm getting sad.
Not allowed. Yeah. Morellonomicon completed, so you want to continue getting sad. That is now in the back pocket.
I really
of
do.
Tempt.
I'll tell you that much. Although there is an Aatrox.
Yeah, and there's a Mordekaiser.
Let's not go too far, all right?
That's second proc of the W, my friend. Okay, that's
not
healing.
Go too far, buddy. Ridiculous.
Ain't your buddy pal.
What?
Have you not heard that quote?
No.
Ain't your pal, guy.
Who says that?
Ain't your guy, friend. I think it's a Simpsons quote. I don't quite remember. I don't know. It's really strange. One of those skits where you're like, how did someone come up with this? But it's funny if you get it. Key and Sangyoon here hanging out trying to defend, but this turret is getting lower and lower. The war of attrition is working for Griffin. Oh, that's a cute one. This is what happens when you have a rapid fire cannon. Viper also building towards his Infinity Edge now. I like Hurricane for the 2-item spike a little bit more on Ashe, but I don't mind this if you're going to just sit at range and try and siege down a turret. Rapid fire cannon for siege is fantastic.
It's completely fine. And Viper could have just autoed that one more time.
He did. He still got the local gold.
He still got the local gold. It went down in the end anyway.
That was just called efficiency. That's what I like to call it. Wanted to make sure that he couldn't get swooped in on by the Pigeon Emperor himself.
How do you know he's a Pigeon Emperor?
Because he's a pigeon and an emperor.
How do you know he's a pigeon?
Have you not seen his emotes?
No, I actually haven't. Well, do you know something I don't?
Yeah, he turns into a pigeon. He goes... walks around.
That was actually pretty good.
Not a bad pigeon?
That was... pretty impressive.
I've been practicing.
If there was like a no, never mind.
A competition for
if there was a
people being
competition, I would
pigeons?
have swiped right on you.
Oh, thanks, man. That's not... Is that a competition? Okay, Chovy coming on down, lands the Infernal Chains as the Glacial Prison comes out from Bono, but he can't really find his way in. Viper just explodes the cow. It's staked dinner tonight for Griffin as Chovy's getting all the AoE damage. The Death Realm comes down again. Obliterated is the Pig Lady, and Griffin will move over to the Baron, and this is looking pretty elementary for game number 1.
All right, well...
This is a perfect game, by the way.
Yeah, this is still a perfect game. I don't know what Lehends is just going over there. He wanted to eat a minion.
He's hungry.
That guy didn't sub to him, so
yeah,
that's what happened.
Well, Doran is making this Mordekaiser look like a very relevant pick right now. As the Abyssal Voyage, that's just Lehends by himself, by the way. He's licking people.
Ooh.
This is it's just Lehends. What the heck, Sangyoon? Turn around and shoot him. Doran diving in and just bops him. Okay, goodbye, Kai'Sa. That somehow landed. That was a brilliant cocoon through the minions. Key has to flash, and Griffin...
Are they going to end off this push?
Potentially. I don't know what the heck Sangyoon was doing. He was so scared of Lehends.
Aatrox is busy getting blue. You need to slow down, Atlas.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Azir.
Hold your horse.
Azir getting blue? Yeah.
Azir.
Tempt is like,
whatever his name is.
What's happening to my house? I was in the backyard. What is going? Why is everything on fire? Well, he does get home, but yeah, the fire has already wreaked havoc. I'm sorry, Tempt.
Is there a mercy rule in League of Legends?
Don't know.
There should be for this game.
Yeah, what's the safe word Hanwha Life needs to know so they can yell it right now?
I think it's KT.
Oh my god, that was perfect. That was perfect. That being said, Hanwha Life do not want to think about that team right now. That's Griffin's safe word because they're safe if Hanwha Life hear that word. Oh my god. Arrow goes completely wide, but it straight up doesn't matter because Hanwha Life aren't in position. Oh my god, that was too good. That was too good. Doran, every obliterate is doing so much damage.
It really is. As remember, this was the one-man Abyssal Voyage. Lehends came to collect.
He's such a monster.
Came to collect. That's what you call him.
Look at his
He's
hat.
adorable.
I don't know, man.
Look at him.
That was 150 damage.
You know what? If you ever decide to stop casting, you have a job in audio type stuff.
sound
Okay,
effects.
sound effects. Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
that's what, you like how I call
Yeah.
it audio type stuff? My brain wasn't
Yeah,
quite.
that was
quite-
good. I was into
quite
it.
working.
I
I can't even speak. I'm done.
Well, it's 10,000 gold to lead at 28.5 minutes into this game, and Hanwha Live haven't looked like they've connected yet.
Another ocean.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
This
I'm
is
excited.
Griffin. Actually, they went into the code and said, no, we want to prove that dragons have no effect on how you win the game. That being said, triple cloud on a Mordekaiser is fantastic. If there's ever a champion that wants mobility, I think Mordekaiser is almost the one that wants it the most, given his entire kit revolves around being able to close
What about
distance.
Tryndamere?
Tryndamere at least has his spinny spin.
You know, Tryndamere is a champion we could see
Okay.
come playoffs.
Well, Doran is going to grasp Bono there. Can he 1 versus 5? Indestructible is available. He's got a gigantic shield as the Death Realm was utilized. That's why this gank didn't work. You can't bring 5 people over because the Mordekaiser just disappears and kills one of your guys. Chovy going to get the 3rd one in this team fight. The base is going to be broken once again.
Is it a perfect game?
It could be. It could certainly be, LS, as I don't see Hanwha having too much of a way back into this one. What a way to finish the regular season if you're a Griffin fan, as everyone is getting annihilated. Griffin do so much damage. This is how you use a mid-game comp. Okay, he did it. Managed to get the ace, managed to stay alive. Griffin, perfect game in game number 1 against Hanwha Life Esports. Hanwha have toppled Titans in their last few matches here in the LCK. This Titan is untoppleable, at least at this stage. And I want to say untoppleable again because that's really fun.
Look at these
signs. That's so cool. I love
and they
the
did that
Baybacks.
during. They did that here at LoL Park.
I assume so.
That's amazing.
Was that a Michelin Man? It was a Michelin Man, wasn't it?
One of them looked like Yoshi. Yoshi's great, by the way. I just want. Oh my God, that's Pengu.
Oh,
that's Pengu.
We need to ask them to take these signs and just put them outside the merch store.
Yes.
So that we know.
To shame the merch store.
Yeah.
The
merch store must understand the error of its ways.
If the merch store just had Pengu products, I would probably buy every single one. Pengu shirts, Pengu plushies.
Oh, dude, that would print money
Pengu
instantly.
mouse pads.
Preach.
Yeah. We just need
Absolutely.
Pengu things.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Hanwha Life didn't really turn up for game number 1, but this is a team that has been able to turn things around in the past. Often it is at game number 2 that they managed to scrounge, and that certainly happened in the case of SKT. SKT, I believe, getting over the line in game number 1. Oh, sorry, no, that was the other way around. It was their next matchup. But this is a Griffin that honestly looks like they're just getting better and better with every game they play, and Doran's sort of amalgamation into the team is just a huge one. Look at all the zeros. I mean, this Hanwha Life team weren't able to do anything.
No, they definitely weren't, as everything just went Griffin's way. They had a mid-game team fighting team composition. They found the mid-game team fight. They got a couple of kills off of it. Although the gold graph wouldn't really show.
Viper did 5 times the damage of his opposition. More than. Whoa.
We're going to have a 2-0 night, Alice.
Well, I think so. I mean, this is almost like not even a match. Where were Hanwha Life? They need to make it here to LoL Park to get into these seats because they didn't turn up for game number 1. We'll find out after the break whether they turn up for game number 2.
아 싸운다 싸운다
탑 봐줘야 돼.
갈게
탑 봐줄게.
나온 거 같아 천천히
천천히 잡아, 천천히 잡아.
아지를 맞아.
우리 이제
빨리
준비됐어, 준비됐어.
파이사 끊어놨어 파이사 끊어놨어
미렐 노플이야.
아재도 보자
끝내자.
오케이 끝내
미렐리아 궁 있어, 노플이고.
아재로 높여
아지를 노플이야.
이제 살아있는 애들 노플이다. 변수 적다.
아재로 끊어놨어
싸웠다.
이렇게 끊어놨어 타워
뒤로 올릴게.
질주작 가네. 잡았는데?
퍼펙.
컵백
끝내자.
나이스